All right, guys, happy Friday. It's especially happy for me because behind me I have the McLaren 720S Spider. And I thought it was going to be the coupe, ended up being the Spider. It's better for me because I think the Spider is amazing and it has all the benefits of the coupe, but you can put the top down and enjoy the wind in your hair. So, first we're going to get to the questions from Instagram. If you want to follow me there and ask your question early, it's going to be at MilesPerHr. And then we'll also have questions that we're answering from YouTube's community page. If you want to follow me on TikTok as well, same thing, at MilesPerHr. Go ahead and do that. And we are so close to our 100,000 subscriber mark. So I just want to take a second. Thank you guys for getting us so close. We're like 6,000 subscribers away. Should be hitting in the next couple weeks. And at that time, I promised I would tell you guys how I get all these cars, how I make it happen, and more about my job, my past, and how you guys could get started doing this if you want to do it as well. So, Christina, of course, manning that camera, doing a great job. What's our first question?
All right. How do you start the car and change gears from Tyron?
Great question. Okay, so let's just start it up. Here's how we would do that. First of all, getting in the car. That's another question you may want to know. There's not a visible handle anywhere. Instead, the handle is actually on the inside, and it's not a handle. It's a pad that you press. Hard to see with the camera, but you press the pad, and then you raise the door. And yes, it has dihedral doors, meaning they come out and up. Not just scissor and not just out. They come out and up. Butterfly effect, if you will. And when you start the car, you're going to get in it. Of course, put your foot on the brake, and all you have to do is press the start button here. That's going to get you started. Now, interestingly, unlike the Ferrari 812 Superfast that I was just in, and Lamborghini Huracan, another one that I was just in, you don't get into first gear by pulling the pedal. You hit drive. There is an actual toggle for that right here on the center stalk. So you hit drive, and now you're in drive, now you're in first gear. How you progress through the gears, you can leave it in automatic mode, or you can hit the button to make you go full manual, and then you're in manual control with using just the paddles, or you can just pull on the paddles. You don't have to engage manual mode to go into manual mode. Manual mode, by the way, is right here on this active panel, that when you press the active button, it will give you controls for, there are the fans kicking in. That happens a lot, by the way. The car is loud, and not just from the engine. Most often not from the engine, it's from all the noises it makes. But the fans, that's loud. You hit the active panel, now you can control the H for handling button. That's going to be your traction control effectively. You have normal, or comfort, sport, and track modes. Then press that in the middle for ESC to go completely off. And then down here, that's where you get that manual button. Hit that, and now you've got manual control. And then again, so you have comfort, sport, and traction, and that's for the powertrain setting. That's why there's this key down there. So that's your active panel. And that's how you start the car and get it into gear. Should we rev it a couple times? I am in drive. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, I was going to take it out of drive before I revved it. I promise. Yeah, Christina's one after. I know. That's the noise of the McLaren 720S. I did put it in powertrain track mode to get the most out of that exhaust noise. It's not the most exciting exhaust sound in the world. What do you think, Christina? Yes, no?
No, it's not the most exciting.
No, not the most exciting. All right, what is our next question from our folks on Instagram and YouTube's community page? We will get to all you folks who are tuning in live. Thank you so much for joining us. And while you're there, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe.
Okay, can it do a burnout from Hayden?
Good question. Not something I want to experiment with. I have a feeling it would be very difficult for this vehicle to do a burnout unless you were in like wet weather and the tires were not warm at all, because this car has so much traction. The mid-mounted position of that engine, rear-wheel drive, yes, it's not all-wheel drive, but it would be so difficult to do a burnout because it doesn't weigh very much. Or the engine as far back as it has a lot of traction off the line. That's why we see it do those crazy 0 to 60 times that I'm sure you've seen on YouTube and other places. So it would be hard to do a burnout in the 720S. I'm not going to try them.
Which looks better, McLaren 720S or Ferrari F88 Pista from Tom Brady?
That's a good question.
Was it the actual Tom Brady?
It is not the actual Tom Brady, Christina. Yeah. Yeah, if he is tuning in, Tom, you and I can go for a ride in this, no problem. I don't know, actually, off the top of my head, what I think is better looking. What do you think, Christina? I want to ask you, Christina, what you think. That F8 Spider that we were driving before, remember the yellow one? Or this?
Oh, the new one?
Yeah.
When we were in Malibu?
Yeah, when we were in Malibu driving that. Which one do you like better?
Totally different.
No, they're in the same segment.
Oh, gosh. I can't decide.
You got to speak up. Tell me what your answer is.
I always loved McLarens.
Yeah?
But Ferrari's just like classic.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just aesthetically, which one do you think is better looking?
Oh, gosh.
You know, honestly, I'm going to
This
say
one.
you like this one better.
Just, it's a bit sexier.
Oh, okay. Is it the color? Is it the, what do they call it? Memphis Red is the paint job for this car.
Yeah, and the doors.
The doors, yeah.
I always like those doors.
Yeah, the doors are better. It's cool that you still get these doors on the Spider, whereas like the Huracan Spider, you got the boring old doors, you don't get the scissor doors, and the F8, you don't get anything like that anyway. I don't think you even get those on the Tributo. But yeah, I think the doors kind of sell it a little bit. They're very close. I would take either. I actually kind of prefer
You like the Pista.
I think, no. Well, they asked about the Pista?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they
That's
asked about
why I was like, that was the trip.
My
that was
mistake.
different.
My mistake. I thought he said F8. If you said the Pista, I actually don't like the Pista design
Okay,
all
I
that
was
much.
Like,
I like the
I've been in
F8 better
Pista.
than the Pista.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I like this design better than the Pista.
Okay, wasn't the...
I was wrong. That was my mistake.
Yeah. Okay, how much attention do you get in this car? Do people always want to race you? From Eric Henderson.
You get tons of attention in this car, and not when the doors are up. You just get loads of attention. It is such an organic form. By that I mean you're not really seeing anything that looks like this on the road. With the top down or up, it has so many scoops and inlets and wild design elements that people just can't help themselves but stare at it. Do I get people asking to race me? No, not in my experience, though I'm going to be doing a POV drive in this. Let's see, I've driven the coupe version of this in 2018, and then maybe later that same year I drove the Spider version. So it's been a couple years since I drove the Spider. So I can't remember off the top of my head if people were trying to race me all the time. I don't think that happened. You know what? I think that happens more in cars like the Ferrari, in the A12, and the Huracan. I had more people trying to race me in those cars than this. I don't know why. Maybe because they know they're just going to be dusted. They'll be dusting those other cars too. I don't know. But no, not a lot of people trying to race me, but loads of attention.
It's also not really your personality. You don't like look over at other drivers.
No,
I'm
I'm
like,
not.
Hey, it's on.
Not looking to race with people. Definitely not. I want to keep getting these cars.
All right.
Next question.
Is it even possible to daily drive from Meme Lord?
Yes, I definitely think it's possible to daily drive. There's going to be another question about practicality, so I don't want to rob from that person's question, but it is remarkably comfortable for what it is, for being so low to the ground. You can see out of it very easily, even with the top up, and that's something that's just not common in these convertible supercars. The Huracan, good luck seeing anywhere except for right in front of you, and it's like you're looking out of a letterbox. So being able to see out of it, the nose lift system means that you can get over, you know, steeper curbs or steeper driveways and things like that, and bumps. So it's actually possible to daily drive this car. And of course, you do have the front trunk. Again,
Something is leaking.
it's just the the
Okay.
AC.
Can you just put the door
Just
down?
okay, put the door down. Yes, it is possible to daily drive it. Next question.
All right. What's the 0 to 60 from Daniel?
0 to 60 of the McLaren 720S Spider is going to be 2.8 seconds. It is 1/10 of a second slower then the coupe version of this car, it's not going to matter. It's just stupid fast. This car, I think, weighs 83 pounds heavier than the coupe. It's still less than 3,000 pounds, which is so nuts for a convertible supercar. 2.8 seconds. I started ranting.
All right, you're not going to know this one.
Yeah, you think?
Yearly maintenance costs.
I looked it up.
Oh,
I did.
SRT.
I looked that up because
Gosh.
I didn't know off the top of my head. But it seems like owners on forums are reporting yearly maintenance between $3,000 and $5,000. So that's kind of like 2 services a year. Not, using their cars ridiculous amounts, but taking it out for weekend drives. 2 services is going to net you between $3,000 and $5,000, depending on what your local McLaren dealership is going to charge.
All right.
You thought I wouldn't know.
How practical is this?
I didn't know.
From Joe Diaz.
Okay, so that is the question about practicality, and for that I am going to open the front trunk to help answer this question. So it has 7.4 cubic feet of space, and that's just a number. This is what it actually looks like. It's actually a pretty good, wow, couldn't speak, pretty good sized front trunk here. I'm actually going to get inside. Let's just see what that's going to look like. This is a 6 foot tall adult male who is pretty flexible.
I'm actually gonna close it.
Oh, are you?
So just
Okay, all right. Well, see you guys later.
sit
It's fine.
tight.
All right, bye.
Okay. All right. You good?
Yep,
All right. You good?
yep, still good.
Still good.
Yep, still
Still
good.
good?
Still good.
Tell me.
Still
tell
good.
Me when.
And that's my head.
Oh, that's it.
Yep, that's
All
it.
right. All right. We're good.
Yeah, you can get that front trunk hood down pretty far. That is a practical supercar right there. And if this was the coupe, I think you have a little more space. Actually, you do have additional space behind the front 2 occupants. I'm gonna have to get this 2 hands. Okay, behind the front 2 occupants, if the top is not stowed, you have a little cubby back here to put stuff, but because the top is there, you don't have that space. So there's actually a fair amount of usable space in this car, but you're not going to be able to take any bits of furniture with you. It's mostly going to be 2 small suitcases or just a good sized one in the front trunk. Next question.
What do you think of the headlight eye socket design from Harsh 29?
I love this question because the first time I saw the 720S in photos, I was like, that's terrible. What did they do? This awful. This eye socket thing just so weird with all the scoops. And what are they doing? What are they thinking? Yes, it's aerodynamic, but it's just ugly. Then I saw it in person, and then I got used to it. And I now don't even really notice it. It just kind of flows with the rest of the design. If this was the only thing, and then the rest of the car was kind of more traditional styling, that would look freaking weird. But because these scoops and inlets and design things are all throughout the car, how aerodynamics completely crafted the design. This is an aerodynamically designed car, not a car that was designed and then they retrofitted aerodynamics to it. It is an aerodynamically sculpted car, and so there's all of these curves, all of this airflow manipulation. So if that was the only thing on the car, it would look weird, but because it is part of the overall design theme, I am okay with it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Next question.
How does it stack up against the Ferrari F8 Spider in terms of emotion from Lano's? Well, that's the one that you were thinking.
Yes, okay, that's why I confused it. So someone did ask a question about the F8 Spider. That was a car that Christina and I were in very recently. And the honest answer to this question is like neither of them really capture you, at least from an engine sound standpoint. Remember the F8? We were like, oh, I want more from that noise. Both twin turbo V8s,
Yeah.
both not really making much in terms of a visceral soundtrack. How the cars drive, so engaging, so good to drive. Both of them are phenomenal in a corner. That's where the emotion comes in. Which one is more emotional? You think the Ferrari? I think
it was a smoother ride.
The Ferrari was super smooth. It's smoother a ride than even this, and this is pretty good for a supercar. The thing that has the Ferrari has a little edge for me is, it's so dumb, but the steering wheel. There's something about the steering wheel of a Ferrari that just sort of like brings you in, gets you so excited, and you feel like a racing driver when you're looking at that wheel. This is a good wheel, but it's not as kind of like whole race driver feel to it. So I'm gonna give the Ferrari a small edge, but neither of them honestly make a very good sound, as we just heard in this one. And if you listen to the F8, it's like, whatever. Bring back the naturally aspirated motors. Said it. Next question.
Best premium supercar, in your opinion, from Suli Ansari.
I think it is probably a translation thing, so I'm not going to make too much fun of it, but I will address that all supercars are in a way premium because they all cost lots of money, and you sort of think of premium as this upper echelon of spending money on cars. So I'm going to say they're all premium supercars. We didn't need that qualifier, but I think that that AC compressor is making some water. Look at that. Which is the best? By the way, this is with the nose lifted. In case you're like, man, look at that wheel gap. That's just with the nose lifted. Don't worry about that. I'm dodging around the question because they're all so different. They're all so different, and they give you different, as the person pointed out, different emotions, different attachments to different characteristics of the car. If it's the Huracan, then it's just like excitement, adrenaline, nonstop every day, every second of every day. If it's this car, it's what a striking form, and man, is it good in a corner, and wow, is it quick in a straight line. If it's the Ferrari, it's kind of all those things, along with just the heritage of Ferrari. It's very hard to pick just one. I still come back to, if we're just talking a supercar, I'm gonna throw it back to my favorite one from like 2005, the Ford GT. That's still my favorite. It is definitely premium, but it is not luxurious. It's all muscle, 550 horsepower, supercharged V8. That's me. Very much not like these cars. Okay, go on. Next question.
Hey, how much horsepower is it packing from Superhuman 13?
I love the packing. How much horsepower is it packing? It's packing 710 horsepower and 568 pound-feet of torque. I think 0 to 60, 2.8 seconds. Top speed 212 miles an hour, both for the coupe and the convertible. That's impressive. Same top speed with the top up. You can't do 212 with the top down in this car. Next question. Are we on to?
Right, we are.
On
but I just want to give them a warning that, I mean, there was a lot of chatting going on.
A lot of chatting, a lot of questions.
And so it only lets me look so far.
Oh, okay, guys. If you want your question to be elevated, just
Well,
I'm not like
where I'm at.
not trying to plug it, but super chat will get your question highlighted.
All right. A lot of the questions were lost because people are chatting. Okay.
Sorry, guys. Ask your question in the comment. I will answer it. Unfortunately, I may not get to all of them live. We are going to have to drive this guy at some point.
Yeah, can you do a test drive? That's the first question I'm seeing.
Okay, test drive. Yes, we will do that. I also want to, while we're sitting here, while you're looking at it, I will put the top up and then put it down. So, Christina, make sure you get probably profile of the car to show that.
Yeah, it really deleted a lot of comments. Why is that?
I don't know.
Sorry, guys. Oh,
Here we go.
someone asked if that extra seat's for your girlfriend.
No, it's for my pregnant wife.
Who?
My pregnant wife.
That's what?
Just right. All right, so that's windows don't want to go up. Okay, that's top up. Roof is closed. Thank you. This is top down. Oh, here. Do you want to see like step back? See with the maybe the door's not closed. Yeah, that's it. Door isn't closed, so it won't roll the window. No, just doesn't want to roll the window right now. I don't know why. So that, are you seeing the whole? Are you step back far enough? See the whole car? Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's the car with the roof up. Show the back, maybe show the front, and then I will put the roof down. I think the craziest thing is that with the top up, it genuinely looks like a coupe. Like you would not think this is a Spider if you didn't know any better. Alright, top's going down. staring at the car for a sec. What is our next question, Christina? By the way, it just doesn't. It didn't want to roll up its window, so.
You know, this chat's going crazy. I don't know. I'm losing track of things. Things are switching
I'm glad
around,
people are excited. It's good. I'm excited.
What do you think of the exhaust note from B-Moth? You already kind of said that.
Yeah, kind of underwhelming.
Yeah. Okay.
Time to look at the interior and go for a ride?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it better than an Aventador Super Veloce?
SV.
What
SVJ, yes.
the-
Is it better than that car? Define better. That's difficult for me because you need help? You got it? Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult for anyone to get in this car, much less a pregnant woman. Do I think it's better than that car? I think it is not as visceral, certainly, as the Aventador SVJ. Is it quicker? Probably. Even though the Aventador is all-wheel drive, I think this is probably quicker than that car. It weighs so little, less than 3,000 pounds. Nuts. Why does the window not want to go up? Yeah, window's stuck on this driver's side, and it's not the door being open.
Right, people want to know how long it took for the top to go up and down.
Good question. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's like
Should you try
13 seconds. Should I try it?
it? Just go for it.
Okay. Okay, counting, starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, like 11 seconds basically.
And show them this.
This is pretty cool. So with the top up, you can either make it completely transparent so you can get to see the sunlight, or darken it up. Why is this window not going up? That's some interesting electronic defect, because that window is going up.
Yeah.
That's weird. You can lower this back window too, which is cool, so you can hear more of the exhaust with the top up. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that window. Anyway, all right, so it's time to go for a drive.
Are you putting it down or keeping it up?
I'm going to put it down. Yeah, so I'll put the top down. Here goes.
Okay. How you get these cars from Charles Holmes Jr.?
How do I get these cars? Well, that's an excellent question. And Charles, let me tell you, when we hit 100,000 subscribers in like a couple weeks, I will tell you all about how I get these cars, how I do my job, how you can kind of get started doing this job if you want to as well. That's happening at 100,000 subscribers. We're so close. So spread the word and let's get there faster, and I will answer your question faster. How's that? Okay? Come on, window, go up. All right, so I'm gonna hit the active panel and go into Sport
So we already
Powertrain.
answered this car or F8 Tributo. We already answered that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm
We
torn.
still
I
haven't
like both of
chosen
them.
between them.
I haven't really chosen between them. That's hard. It's very difficult. Let's just put it that way. There you go. There's a Raptor who wants to show off near me. Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy because it doesn't make much noise at all. It just is gunning it. It's so fast. It's like the silent killer, this car. Wow. So I guess that was a good question. If people want to race me or at least show off that Raptor, it took all of like 5 seconds behind the wheel for someone to try to do that. Oh, the window thing's annoying. I should really give up on that. Oh well. Next question.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know, Christina's trying to fight through like lots of chatting and all that kind of stuff, so it's difficult to get to the questions, guys.
Yep. When are you doing a POV drive?
Soon. I've got a few more POVs to get through. A lot of backed up content. But that was a 570, that was cool. I just waved at him. I'm 570. I have a 720, you know, just for the weekend. Anyway, yes, I will get a POV drive up soon. And they're probably going to be two. There's probably going to be a regular POV like real world drive and then a canyon drive as well. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I know it's kind of windy.
Can you do a long?
That's insane. Can I do a launch?
In the driving video.
Yes, I will do a launch in the driving video. Like I do in pretty much all my videos that vehicle has launch control, I will do a launch in it.
Someone asked if you could do a POV drive where at night, more of them where you put gas in.
That's an interesting request.
No,
if
you
I
don't need to buy gas.
No, I mean if I time it where I would need gas, then sure. But otherwise, I guess I could top up. But if I don't need gas, no. So fast. I think what's wild about it, and it kind of gives me a preview of, I mean, already we have electric cars that are wildly fast off the line, but it gives me a preview of the fully electric revolution that's on its way. It's the fact that this car just is so quiet about how it punishes you with G-force. The acceleration, the cornering G-force is all off the charts, but it just doesn't make a big hullabaloo about it with exhaust note and all that.
Yeah, I think it's effortless. That's the word I would use.
Oh, Christina would use effortless, huh? She's telling me how to do my job, guys. I think she's right. Yeah, effortless is a good word for this. Next question, Christina, if we can do it. I know it's hard. One thing I noticed that they changed since, I think, the 2018 model that I had was this screen used to be such that you couldn't wear polarized sunglasses and see it. I tried it out earlier with my polarized sunglasses, and you can, in fact, see this screen. That's important.
Could you do a road trip in this, or are the seats too uncomfortable from the AG?
That's a good question. I drove the 720S at the launch pretty far. Like, I think I spent 3 or 4 hours behind the wheel. And while it did get a little old, not something I'd want to do all the time, I think you could probably get through a road trip. If you're making some stops, I think you could get through a road trip.
But it's not like a Tributo that was...
No, the Tributo was shockingly comfortable. Shocking.
Alright, are we live?
Live, we good?
Yeah, we lost some people.
Sorry guys. Do I like the Enzo or the Enzo FXX? The FXX is the track-only car. I'd like to drive my car on the road, so I would choose the regular Enzo. Next question.
What made you choose the 720S Spider instead of the regular 720S?
I did not choose in this circumstance. McLaren said, hey, we have the 720S. And I said, great. And then they said, oh, it's actually the Spider. And I said, okay. I do not have the option to choose, and I don't care because they're both amazing.
A random person, that's their name.
Oh.
Is this the fastest car you've driven?
It's pretty close, but no.
No.
The fastest car I've driven, and we're talking fast, not quick. The fastest car I've driven is the Bugatti Chiron. Quickest car I've driven? Probably also the Bugatti Chiron. I kind of just pass it. And most expensive car I've driven? The Bugatti Chiron, yeah. This is up there though. As quick cars go, this is definitely up there.
What would you say is the pros and what are the pros?
That
Yeah.
way. It's on videos.
Like, me too.
Oh, pros and cons of the 720S. I'm going to say pros are going to be its organic form. It looks like nothing else on the road, so it gets that attention. It's just shockingly quick, and it's fairly comfortable and fairly practical. Visibility, I don't know if I mentioned that yet, is incredible because it's just such a downturned nose. You feel like you're on the road and you can just see everything all around the car. Is very good in terms of visibility. So all those are the pros. Cons, I'm going to say that emotion factor.
People want to launch.
Okay, I'll do a launch. Cons I'm going to say are that emotion factor. Don't really have a ton of that without some sort of good exhaust noise. Okay, so I'm going to turn off some stuff. I have the traction control in sports. Then you hit the launch button, and you have to wait for full throttle. So I'm going to probably lose the launch before I can actually hit this. Yeah, because we're going to have to sit at this light for a second. So any other question I can answer while we're sitting at the light? This is going to be crazy, by the way. Launching this car is brutal. Yeah, launch went away, so I'll have to hit it again.
What you think about the Raptor?
What do I think about the Raptor? I'm very much on board with the Raptor. I like it. It's going to be interesting to see if Ford tries to come out with something competing with that Ram TRX. All right, launch. Waiting full throttle. Giving it full throttle. Boost building, and boost ready to go. Yeah. That's the thing. Like you don't.
Seemed like it took so long to get started.
Well, you have to wait for boost to build. That's the one thing in this car. You do have to wait for boost to build. Some of their launch control systems are just like ready right off the bat. Boost has to build in this car. But I want to say, to compare this to other launch vehicles that I've launched before, it's just the sensation of speed is all in the G-force. It's not in anything else going on. So you're just sort of like, I'm going fast, and I know that because my cheeks hurt, not because of anything else. And then things are getting blurry.
You're probably not going to know this one.
Oh.
How much is insurance for that car if you drive it daily in the U.S.?
That is a good question. I'm going to say, I'm going to scale up. This is a complete guess here. I'm going to scale up. Insurance is probably in the realm of 12 grand a year. My guess. Anyone who owns a 720S, I would love to know if I guessed correctly or not. But that's a complete guess, as I said. 12 grand a year. Yeah, let's say that.
What is the fuel mileage of this car?
That is a great question. Off the top of my head, I think it is, 16 combined? I think 16 combined. I could be completely wrong. I actually don't remember that. Wow, a fact I don't remember.
Can you do the large water bottle test from Dewan?
I don't have my large water bottle with me, but I will definitely do a big bottle test. And I'm so glad. I will do that in either a standalone video, or I will do it as part of. I won't do it as part of the walk around. I'll do it as part of a video. It may be on Instagram and it may be on TikTok, but I will do the big bottle test. Thanks for asking.
All right.
Another question.
Jocelyn, she thinks it's at 15 miles city and 22 highway.
Yeah, so combined is going to be, what, 18?
Yeah.
18. Okay, so better than my 16 estimate. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Okay. This isn't about the car. Do you think I should straight pipe my Raptor? It has the Corolla on it.
Ah, interesting. That would be probably, I mean, yeah, it's a twin-turbo V6, so it's not going to be crazy like a V8, but that would be pretty darn loud. Do you have neighbors, and do you like them? Do they like you? If so, you may want to keep it that way. If you don't care about them, then sure, go for it. Do what you want.
Make sure they don't have children. Okay. Where
Yes.
is the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ?
Where is it?
I don't know.
With Lamborghini, I don't know. I don't own that car. I don't own any of these cars. If you're new to the channel and you don't know that, I don't own any of these vehicles. I just get them as loans, and I will explain exactly how that works when the channel hits 100,000 subscribers. I'm saying it for the third time now. It's worth saying. Let's get there, 100K.
Okay. Do you like the turbo sound?
That is an interesting question because you can definitely hear the turbos in this car, and in more than just the sound, you can really genuinely feel the boost build in this car, especially, it doesn't even matter what gear you're in. The boost is like a traditional turbocharged system. Even though it's a twin turbo system, it feels like traditional turbos in that you're waiting for that boost to build, and you hear them. You don't hear a ton of wastegate noise. Oh, that was fun. Did you hear that one? Okay, it sounds like little squirrels. That's the blow-off noise in this car. It's kind of fun. Yeah, I like the turbo noise, to answer that question.
Oh, what does the horn sound like from Kyle Stammers?
Like that.
Oh.
What do you think? That sounds kind of whiny. Hey. Hey. Hey.
I don't know what horns are great.
If you want to know how you raise the nose, there is this toggle on the right-hand side here that you press, and that will lift the nose. It takes a couple seconds here.
Show us where again?
Right here.
Okay.
There's actually 4 stalks on this car. One is going to control the infotainment functions. Oh, by the way, did you all know that this display right here, you probably do know this, folds down. You can do it at the press of a button, or when you go into track mode, and that will only display what gear you're in on the left, and then your tachometer right in the center there. All right, the nose has lifted. So up we go. And the left window still won't go up. And now we can hear those fans going, because I gave the car a little workout, so now it's doing its exhalation. And I think that's probably going to do it for us if we've gotten through a lot of the questions.
Oh, last one. What do you think about the interior? Because you didn't talk really much.
I didn't talk a ton about that. That is a good question.
From Donkey.
The interior is fairly Spartan, fairly minimalist. You have all of your functions for the powertrain and the handling right here, powertrain handling through the active switch. You have your gear selectors, drive, neutral, reverse, launch control button. This is how you fold and unfold the hardtop. The fit and finish of the materials is great. That all feels good. The leather is supple. I don't like the orange color of this interior mixed with the Memphis Red paint job. It's not even close to the same color, and that I think is sort of a whiff. I would not have chosen those two as a combo. But apart from that, the Alcantara feels good, the leather feels good. It all feels high quality. It doesn't feel cheap. Do I prefer it to things in this class? Again, the steering wheel leaves me a little wanting compared to like the Ferrari F8. The Huracan cabin is a little more jet fighter like, but I think I might prefer this cabin to the Huracans. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your weekend. And for those of you overseas, I'm sorry if this is on at an unreasonable hour and you weren't able to tune in, or you're watching it staying up late. Thank you so much for joining.
Some people were.
Yeah, thank you guys. So I will post videos of the POV drive, POV day drive, night drive, maybe a Canyon drive as well, and then the walk around. So stay tuned for all of those. No time for review in this car. But yeah, more on the McLaren 720S Spider coming. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.